All right, guys, today we are going to be building some IEC cables, right? These are the ones that go like to your computer, right? The tip, and this obviously goes to the wall. So we're going to build some of these today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Normally, when you get a computer, you get a little skinny cable that's about this big. I don't know if you can see it compared to my thumb, how fat it is, but look at the difference in power gauge as far as how thick the cable is, so you can get an idea of what this cable looks like. Look at that. Can you see the difference? Of course you can, right? So we're gonna build, if we build power amplifier cables and don't use this type versus this, the amplifiers get hot, you break the breakers, the heat causes damage to electronics. So if you have a fat cable, less heat, less damage. Skinny cable, possible likely damage, especially with high power amplifiers. So we're gonna throw these away or use them for little toys, and we're gonna build these. So let's get started. So first you're gonna do, you're gonna need to order some. You need to order the male and the female version. Now this is the way it looks when you open them up. Here we go. You get the C046E. You can find these on eBay. I'll leave a link below, or Amazon, I should say. I'll leave a link below for you guys for that. And this is the IEC. As you guys can see next to my thumb, I have pretty decent sized hands. Excuse my manicure. I'm not into the metrosexual nonsense. I have manly hands. I have whatever you call these things, because I work with my hands. And so today we're going to be building these. That's the IEC cable. This is the male version, right? It comes with a little plug so that you don't break. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these apart, and then we're going to cut this cable that we have here. So you guys can see, I've already done all these cables except for there's one missing, which is this one. So this right here, we're going to get rid of these cables, and we're going to focus on this guy. So we're going to put the two tips on this. But how do we do it? Well, you're going to need a few basic tools. You're going to need, for example, these are your tools. You're going to need crimpers. This is the crimpers that we use to splicers to splice the cable. We're going to use this to cut the cable, because if you guys can see, look at this. If we were to cut the cable with these Matco, which Matco is a very high quality brand, if you cut it, you're going to have to do this. And then because it's so fat, you're going to go through all this crap to cut that, and you might cut it. So what we use is we use these. These are Craftsman 937 201s. And look at this. You just, boom. You can cut a freaking super thin slice if you want. Check this out. Look at that. Beautiful. Super clean cut. And that's what we want. So we cut this cable already. So now what we want, and look how smooth. I don't know if you guys can see how smooth it actually cut. Look at this. Super clean cut, right? So here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to use my Alpha knife to be able to cut around this cable. So we're going to need about this much cable, and I would say about an inch and a quarter. And what you want to do is you want to cut this cable where you're barely going through, but not all the way, because you do not want to touch the cable underneath. You just want to score it. So once you cut it like this, you basically bend it, and then you just kind of rub your knife on it, and it splits open. Look at that. See? Because we already pre-cut it while we were going in circles. So we do that again. We bend it, and then we just touch it, and it opens up. There we go. And now it comes out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our wire cutters to cut this excess material. There's one, right? This is like a nylon that, in case you stretch the wire this way, this nylon protects it so that you don't actually pull on the wire itself, because it's a lot of voltage running through these puppies. So let's cut this one too. There we go. And then we also cut this one. It helps on this when you cut this like this, right? So I'm going to show you a little trick that you got to do before you do any of this stuff. And that is, first put these guys in here. Put the sleeves in here first before you cut this and splice them, because it's going to be harder. This is a little rubber piece that's in here. And if you don't do it right, it's going to come off. And if it comes off, you can't put it back on, because look how skinny that little hole is versus how thick this cable is. So let's take this apart. And the way you do it is you you get what? First of all, we'll cheat. There you go. And we'll take this guy off. There we go. Now that we did that, take it apart. Right in here, you can see there's a little cable thing that you use to squeeze, and that'll squeeze the wire in there. But as you can see, my pinky is smaller than the cable, and my pinky goes through here barely. That's why you got to take off that little extra adapter in there. That's what we're going to do. We're going to pop that out. And there we go. So now that I popped it out, we also, if you guys notice in here, let me get a little pointer. If you guys notice in here, there are some little screws. And what happens is we got to open it up a little more. So that way the wire can fit through there. So we're going to open it up to about right there. And we're going to get it about right there. That should do it. And then normally we put a lubricant here. So that way it'll slip right in without you having to. And when you put this in, make sure that it goes this way. If you put it the wrong way, see it falls in and then it blocks your way. So you want to put it this way down. So that way you guys can see it opens the whole door, the whole wall, so that it can fit in there. So now with the lubricant, it should go in there nice and easy. There it is. Right, so we got one. That's what you do before you cut anything. Now we got to do the other one too, which means we got to take this apart. There it is. There it is. Oops, I took too much apart. So anyways, there it is. We take that off. And then we also break off that little plastic. There it is, another little plastic. Now we got to take, again, open this guys up so that there's plenty of gap inside there, inside here, to put the wire through here. So you got to open it up more. I would say that's good. And that's good. Again, we lubricate this puppy. And then we make sure that the black section is facing down. And then we run the wire kind of facing up away from that little thing. And then as you can see, the cable's going in there, but the little black thing is blocking us. So we got to push it down. Once you push it down, then the cable can go in smooth. There we go. So that's it. So we got that one and this one already done. Quarter almost done. Now we also have to do this. On this one, we're going to do about 1 inch. And I'll show you why. Yeah, we'll do about 1 inch. Yeah, almost 1.25 inches. So again, we're going to score the cable. Just slightly, don't go too deep because remember, you don't want to cut the wires inside. You just want to cut the sleeve because when you bend the cable, it should be able to rip. See? And it should rip when you bend it. There you go. Come on. There you go. And again, and there it is. So now that that's done, we do the same routine again. Fold the cables away from the vinyl. There we go. So we're going to tilt it sideways and then we're going to cut this. There we go. And then we get this other one. Now we flip it the other way. All the cables away from that vinyl stuff, right? And there we go. And then we also we tilt it away from that nylon vinyl. It's all plastic. There we go. So now that we got the 3, now what we got to do on this is what we're going to do is we're going to put them like a flower, open them up, each one away from each other. That's where these guys come in. These guys, we're going to splice the wire. We're going to do about half an inch of cable. There we go. That's one. Again, about half an inch. We're using, it doesn't go up to 8, so you can't go all the way. Just kind of squeeze it a little bit, turn it, squeeze it, because this is 8 gauge cable. So then we go here. There we go, and we split it. So now turn the cable clockwise, right? And then what we're gonna do here is, see, these guys have numbers. This is C046E. So this is the IEC. So we get the IEC, and this is the other one. This is the P046E. And the P046E looks like this. So we got to put this tip on this. So that's where this comes in. Now, the L is for the white, the N is for the neutral, and the ground in the middle is for the green. So let's do that. I mean, technically, that's the standard. If you're going to put the white wire on the L, make sure on the other end you put the white on the L as well. That's all you got to worry about. But the green definitely goes with the ground. And what we want to do here on these guys, if you guys notice, it's coming apart away from the screw. It's basically making room. So right there, that one, right? And now what's going to happen is the wire is going to go inside that little area right in here. And then when you squeeze it, that copper thing is going to go this way and squeeze it. Right, so we're going to do that to all three. But don't go all the way out, because if you do, what's going to happen is it's going to be a pain in the butt to put it back together. So make sure you don't take out that copper thing all the way, just enough to fit the wire in there to the very end. Right, there we go. That's good enough right there. So this one, the L, there we go. So what we got to do with this now is these tips can't go all crazy. If you guys notice, they're all like, wow. So they all got to face the same way. For example, this one, I switched it because they all got to face like directly the same direction. They can't be like that. They both have to be parallel so that they fit right in, because we're going to slip all three wires at the same time. You don't want to do one by one, because you're going to have a hard time doing it that way. So as long as you have all the cables facing the same direction and the same angle, they should fit in very nicely without any issues. So let's do that and let's see if that works. So here we go. The L, here we go. The L is right there. You can see, because they have the numbers, there's an L. I don't know if you can see the L. There's an N, and then this has a little ground, little symbol. So that's how that goes. So we're going to put them all three together. There we go. And that one's going in smooth. They all went in smooth. Beautiful. No scraggly wires sticking out. So this, you got to be careful not for them to come out. So you hold it with one hand and you screw it with the other. Just screw it tight enough that it'll hold, but not super tight. Not yet. Let's clear this so you can see this better. There we go. I know it looks a little messy. Now, whoops, this thing didn't go all the way through. It feels like it's coming out. So we put it in all the way, and then we tighten it. Not too tight, just enough to hold decently. And now we go to the black one. And then tighten the black one. And then now we bend it towards the bottom and we stick the ground one in there too. And now we tighten the ground. There we go. Now that it's tight, now we can go to the black, tighten it really hard. I mean, if you leave it loose, what's going to happen? It's going to get loose, it's going to get hot, and it's going to melt this plastic, and then you're going to blow something up. So make sure you tighten it very nice. There we go. So that's it. So now that that's done, now we can get this thing right here and pull this, so that way we can have the plastic over here kind of cover all that. That's what we want. We don't want too much wire right here, because we want that thing to squeeze it here. And that's what this little screws in this side do. If you guys notice here, there is a notch cut out. So what that represents is that this thing has a little line right here, so that line can fit right here. So if you guys can see, if we go slow, that line will align with this line, with this indentation, and it should slip right in. It won't go in any other way. Just remember that. If it goes in, it's because you did it right. If it doesn't want to go in, it just means you suck. Yes, you heard it. It sucked. You suck. And it's okay. How do you unsuck? Well, there's a saying that goes, practice makes perfect. And I don't believe that, but I believe the more times you do something, the better you get at it, especially if you're practicing the fundamentals of it. If you're just doing it just to get it over with, what you're going to do is you're going to do it wrong. And what you're going to do is you're going to build a habit of doing it wrong. And then for the rest of your life, whatever you do, you're going to do it wrong. So it doesn't mean just because you practice. If you practice how to do it wrong, you're always going to do it wrong. So don't believe that statement that practice makes perfect. No, practice makes perfect only if you believe that nonsense. And two, practice makes better, but there is no such thing as perfect. There isn't. God is perfect. His creation is perfect. And we can't come close to perfection. So, but do the best you can. Practice, learn all the fundamentals of how things should be done. And then once you're done with that, then, just practice to get better. And of course, you'll be better than other people that don't do it. But as far as perfect goes, there's too much detail to disqualify anything from being perfect. So don't focus on perfect. Focus on excellence. Because if you're trying to achieve perfection, you're only going to disappoint yourself. There we go. So we tighten that. We tighten that. There we go. And then now we do this next one. This next one, the same thing. We put them to the corners, right? We get the splicer. We 1/2 inch. Remember, this is 8 gauge. And the pliers only go up to 10 gauge. So don't go all the way through. You're going to cut wires. Like you're going to have a little, just don't go all the way through. Just cut it and splice it. And there you go. And then let's clear all this. So it can be cleaner. And then we do another 1/2. There we go. So now we turn that counterclockwise, right? There we go. And then again, remember, we want all the wires to look, like they're going the same way, that they're going in every angle straight, and not like that, but all of them parallel. And then once we do that, we get our little piece. Again, we take these out so that these can go all the way out, right to where it almost falls off. There we go. And there's another one right there. And then we're going to do this super close so you can see it. Right there. Right there. That way you have that gap in there. Excellent. So now let's put the wire in there. Remember, there's an L, N. L, I use it for white, and I use it for black, and the ground. I know it's backwards, but again, it doesn't really matter as long as if you put an L here, put an L over there. That's all that matters. But the ground sign, definitely put it with the green. So in this case, this is all set. Everything is in place. And as you guys can see, it fit like a glove. So now we hold it tight. We tie in the black first. Just enough to get it tight. If you see bare wire, push it in more until you don't see the bare wire. There you go. Now the white one. Now let's do that. Doesn't have to be super tight yet. And now the green one, there's no wire, bare wire. So now tighten that puppy up. There we go. That should do it. Now you get the heavy duty screwdriver. And that's tight. That's tight. And last but not least, that's tight. There we go. So now we got that. Now what we got to do is we got to basically hold it by the red and pull the sleeve out. We got to basically, we want to slide this tube into that so that we don't have a lot of wire exposed here. So we're going to get this and stretch it, pull it from here, get it from here, and then pull the black wire so we can leave no room for that. And there we go. As you guys can see, there's not much play left there. So now, again, we have the notch that's right there. And now we got to find the notch that's right there too. And we found that it's right there. So we're going to connect that notch with that notch. And let's go slow so that the rubber grommet doesn't come off. There we go. And can we do it? Dun, dun, dun. Come on, you can do it. And, ooh, okay, we got screws right in the feeling. One went in. One went in, okay. So now that those are in, it should go in. Yep, there it is. Now we tighten them up. Tighten them up just till they get close and then do it by hand. There we go, that's good enough. That's good enough. We don't want to strip it. It already sounded like I jumped twice. And then we just, that's tight. That's tight. And ladies and gentlemen, after, I don't know how many minutes, 21 minutes, we officially got this cable done, right? We got that cable. We got this cable. We got this other cable. And we need this one too. This one was the sample one. As you guys can see, when you squeeze these right here, the ones on these corners, you can see the cable, how it got squeezed by that. That's why we don't want a lot of wire exposed right here so that it has access to squeeze. So we're gonna slide this a little more so we don't have that extra cable. There we go. Now you guys can see there's really practically no cable exposed. Now we can find the notch again. Right, there's a notch. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it in. There it is. And then we're gonna need ooh, this is gonna be a little interesting. So we need, okay, so that's it, guys. We are done with this. You know how to do the rest. Stand it up, get it over with. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is another video tutorial. Eddie Beretti with None of Your Business, man. And I will see you guys on the next tutorial. Hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. Please comment, share this with people that are trying to build this stuff so they don't explode themselves. And of course, thank you again for taking your time to watch this whole video. Hope you learned something today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. And please subscribe, please.